Yeah, someone look elbow.
One U-Haul. Or hookah.
Last player standing.
To disappoint. I have this mailed ready.
One enemy remaining.
Bro.
Nice. I'd win that too.
What if I told you learning how to clutch would infinitely increase your aura? Sometimes you just get that one dude on your team that clutches up every round. It doesn't matter, throw him in a 1v5, and in the back of your mind, you'll catch yourself thinking, well, maybe he wins this. While clutching every round is statistically impossible, my goal with this video is to help you guys clutch more often. But the Immortal 3 Yapper, every time all eyes are on me, my heart rate increases, my palms get sweaty, knees weak, mom spaghetti. Guess what? That's normal. That's what we call pressure. It means you care about the outcome, which is a good thing. Pressure makes diamonds after all, but if you let it consume you, then you will undoubtedly fail to clutch up. So the first step in becoming a clutch master is to convince yourself every round is winnable. 1v3, 1v4, even 1v5, I want you to try your absolute hardest to win the round. Think of it this way. Each enemy you kill is another 39 credits to spend on armor and rifle alone. This is called economic damage. It's a big deal and is often overlooked by lower ranked players. And better yet, let's say you do win the 1v3, which will happen more frequently as you practice, by the way. This alone often changes the momentum of a match. A guaranteed round was just lost, economy took a hit, mental's broken, and better yet, next time you're in a 1v3, you now have aura. Because you did it once, they're going to be scared that you might pull it off again. Use this fear, and if you pull off another 1v3, the game is pretty much as good as over. It might seem intimidating to even attempt a difficult clutch, but there are some things you can think about and focus on that increase your chances of winning. Really quick, I just wanted to break down the clutch from the beginning of the video. So starting things off, I definitely shouldn't have been reloading here in the open because we had nobody watching elbow. Luckily, by using air strafing and just making myself a harder target, I was able to stay alive long enough to finish my reload and kill the deadlock.
Elbow.
One U-Haul.
Now I'm in a 1v3. I know one's hookah and I know two are CT because of who got kills. They've all been spotted. So since I know all three positions, I'm able to isolate the hookah fight first.
Or hookah.
Last player standing.
He does dash out, so it does take a little bit of mouse control to track him across, but it takes time for him to pull his weapon back out, giving me the chance to get that first kill. And now here I am in a 1v2, so odds are a little bit better. I do want to get this spike down. I want to at very least pick up the spike to pressure them. If I am holding the spike, there's more pressure that I could rotate. Basically, just gives me more freedom to play the clock down and see if I can get any picks here or there.
I have this mailed ready.
So I went for a quick jiggle to get information, maybe get a pick off on him. But I want to stay close to this wall, as close as I can, so I can jiggle out and potentially get a frag and use my dismiss now that I ulted.
One enemy remaining.
That was a nice shot right there. It got me into a 1v1, allowed me to heal up to full, dismiss back out to the close corner. This allows me to play left and right. I could peek either side pretty easily. The Raze wants to push me here, so this puts me in a pretty solid position. One thing I will say is I didn't need to get that kill on the fade there. I still would have had a chance in this round. Because I'm playing so close to this wall, it allows me to peek and unpeek pretty easily without getting one tapped. I definitely paused there on purpose. But as you can see, I'm just taking quick peeks and jiggles just to get information. This allows the clutch to be a lot easier.
Nice.
With my first jiggle, I saw he was peeking to the right. It allowed me to get an easy kill on him right there at the end. Here are some other easy strategies that helped me improve my clutches. Slow down. Clutching brings out the worst in people. You're often fighting against the clock during a clutch, and mix that in with the odds being stacked against you, it's just a disaster waiting to happen. The reality is that you don't have a lot of time to work with, so every second matters. Slowing down allows you to make the best choices possible with the little time you do have. I'm not saying be a snail, but it's good to find a healthy balance of speed. Find creative ways to use your utility, especially if you're playing a smoke agent. You have insane clutching potential. A well-placed smoke can often help you easily isolate gunfights, which will be the bread and butter for winning clutches. I don't care who you are, a 1v1 is better odds than a 1v2. So by isolating your fights in a 1v2, you essentially have to win two 1v1s in a row. Let's say you have 50% odds of winning our 1v1s. So in a 1v2 with isolated fights, that gives you 25% chance of winning the round. 25% doesn't sound great, but that is only if you're dry peeking every fight. You can utilize good timings, utility, and even movement to increase these odds significantly. Joko peeking corners and jump peeking off angles can often throw off the opposition and even set you up for easier gunfights. Most of the time during my clutches, I will constantly be pre-firing angles. I do this when peeking to potentially get lucky, but more frequently, I like to pre-fire angles if I'm holding and I know they want to peek me. Many players will get super kill hungry and rush their peeks, but pre-fires are so useful because they help discourage the enemy from peeking you. I like to pre-fire one angle and then look for other peeks around the map. Usually the other players that are close by will try to peek you while you're shooting, and this is the exact moment that you take their head off. Flip back to the first angle and boom, second player peeks out just like clockwork. Despite all these great tips, I'd say there's just one tip that outshines all the rest, and that's going to be getting good rest. Good high quality sleep for 7 to 9 hours a night improves everything about you, and especially improves your decision making abilities. But who needs good decision making for a clutch, right? Seriously though, good sleep does wonders for consistency. Sleep isn't my tip though, it's actually positioning. Many people don't understand what good positioning is. I have a question for you. Should you take space like this? Or like this during a clutch? Trick question, both can be good, but to be honest with you, option 2 is superior most of the time. Let me explain. By positioning yourself close to the wall, several things happen. The enemy has to peek wider in order to see you, which often allows you to scale without being seen. Let's say they do happen to peek you, well oftentimes you're going to win the duel. They will have much more angles to worry about if they do end up peeking you, which gives you a big advantage. Once you are close, you can often catch enemies off guard or out of position. Just like that, you have the Swiss Army knife for taking space and getting picks. Option 2 can work as well, especially if they don't expect you to be out so wide. If they do clear you, however, it's pretty easy for them to pick you off. Worst case, they get info of your location, just throw a flash around the corner, and now you have no shot of closing out the round. Essentially, option 1 is for safely taking space, and option 2 is for if you're looking for a fight right away. The last thing I wanted to leave y'all with today was confidence. You already know confidence plays a huge role in performance. Yes, in Valorant, but also in life. During testing, the confident rats always win, and humans are no different. I want you to take a look around the room and spot anything green. If you don't have anything green, well, I guess you just have to live with that. Now close your eyes and try to recall anything that's red in your room. Normal humans will be unable to recall anything red because they were focused on the green. This same phenomenon happens when people get new cars. They will often notice the same car everywhere on the road, seemingly out of nowhere. You're probably wondering where I'm going with this. Well, bye. Thanks for watching. What if I told you confidence works the same way? Many players will go into a match thinking, I suck. Then during the match, you're going to be paying attention for every little tiny detail you can possibly think of that confirms that you suck. And you're going to notice all of them. You might think this is good because you can learn from your mistakes, right? Wrong. Many mistakes are uncontrollable, and thinking in this way actually destroys your confidence, causing you to tilt and ultimately makes your performance worse. It's quite literally a negative cycle that will keep you stuck at any given rank for eternity. The fix, however, is simple. Instead of focusing on green, focus on the red. Simply meaning that you want to focus on the positive. Focus on what's working. Instead of telling yourself, I suck, tell yourself, I'm great. Stay consistent and you will fall into a positive cycle of improvement, confidence, and quite frankly, you will just enjoy yourself more. If this sounds like woo-joo bullshit, just Google the reticular activation system.